anything, anything in the house, it doesn't matter. We don't take toxic or hazardous materials. That's the main no-no. We do charge a surcharge on certain items, mattresses, TVs, depending on what it is, for the recycling fees. Cans of paint, a lot of times we'll tell people, if you got a bunch of cans of paint, basically dump them into one, put kitty litter in it, harden it up, and it won't cost any extra surcharge. Most people can have it dropped off at a recycling center, and they won't charge anything for it. They charge us due to we remove so much of it. If any of you are involved in property management, we work with a lot of property managers as well, doing trash outs. If the client leaves a lot of stuff behind, you need to have it cleaned out on there. What works best for me is if y'all have questions, I can answer questions y'all may have. Does anybody have any particular questions for me about what we do or what we can't do?
Did you mention, I'm sorry, I jumped on a little bit late, but did you mention the area that you yourself covers?
We cover all of Charlotte, North Carolina, and pretty much all the surrounding counties. So if you've got something a little far out, let me know. We go to Salisbury, Statesville. We do go into Hickory. We don't like to send our guys to the extreme far just to go do a quick estimate. I'll go do an estimate, or the owner does it. And if they definitely want us to do the job, we'll send the truck out there. We just don't like to send a job out to too far, hour, 15 minutes away, and then basically waste all the gas running those guys out there and back. But we go down into York, Fort Mill, Rock Hill, Indian Land, pretty much all of the surrounding Charlotte.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions?
Barry, do y'all do storage unit cleanouts?
Absolutely. That's another vertical that I call on, a storage units going in. A lot of times they'll try to sell stuff out of there. If they don't, we'll take the trash. If you've got a client that's basically got a lot of stuff and they decide they want to get rid of it, we go in there and take care of all that for them as well. On there.
The ones I have seen have not been storage war worthy. They've been junk worthy. So good to know.
And one of my property manager guys, he basically does he's on the radio as well. And I listened to one of his broadcasts. He interviewed me and talked to me and did a free commercial for us. And one of the things he was saying in there, and I didn't tell him this, but he said, all you people that are storing items in the storage unit thinking your kids want them, your kids don't. He says, get the junk luggers to come take care of it. I mean, we've got a storage unit next door to us. And the lady told me over here, she has two clients, the best two clients. They pay over $1,000 a month and they don't take anything out or put anything in. That's been going for years.
Well, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. As long as they're paying the bills.
Yeah.
Let them store it.
I know. I can't imagine how dry rotted or whatever, how bad a condition it is after years and years of storage. So, but no, the face of our company really are the guys on the truck. The guys on the truck do a phenomenal job. I do a little quality control at the end of the start of the week for the prior week. And I hear rave reviews all the time on how people just love the guys on the truck. We're actually growing pretty fast. I've been here, it's coming up on 2 years in the next month or so. And we've had 3 trucks. We're up to 4 trucks now. Getting the 4th truck here was a chore in itself, just getting them, because supply chains are having trouble getting everything together. But we've got our 4th truck in here. If you know anybody that's strong and wants to work and work on a truck, we're looking to hire there as well. It's tough keeping the junk luggers on the truck. We call the guys on the truck the junk luggers, call them luggers. Check our Google reviews. Knock on wood, best of my knowledge, I think all we got is 5-star reviews. The clients love we get a lot of repeat business on there. And a lot of the agents that do use us, I get a lot of repeat business with them, primarily because, I ask them, why do you use me so much? And I got so many agents that don't. And they repeatedly tell me that it just makes their life a lot easier. It's just a good resource for the client, and then they know they can depend on us. Any other questions?
All right, Barry, we appreciate your time today.
I'm gonna stick my name, email and phone number in the chat. And if you want, shoot me an email. I'll email anybody that wants specials. I won't be loading your mailbox up. Usually, unless I get a hold of you, I don't email. But I'll put that in the chat bar for you. And if you got questions, call me anytime.
All right, Barry, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Matthew, I saw you slipped in on us, so let's go ahead and I'll make you a host. All right, Matthew, you should have it, brother. It's all you. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay, bud?
Kind of
Chris.
breaking up on us.
Okay, you wanna give me about maybe 2 more minutes? Let me get to a better situation.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, great. I'll be right back.
All right. While Matthew's gone, before he comes back, we just had a ribbon cutting this morning on our Tennessee office. The Tennessee office is located in Elizabethton, which is right outside of Tri-Cities, Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol. So if you have anybody looking in the northeastern part of Tennessee, make sure you refer them to Ashley Ferlato, and her contact information is on the roster. One other thing, couple other things I wanted to mention. We've had some discussion recently from some people that are setting up LLCs. And if you set up an LLC, you have to have a firm license with the state of North Carolina. We cannot pay an unlicensed entity. So you've got to have a firm license with the Real Estate Commission. So make sure that you have, hold on one second. Yes, sir. All right. All right, sorry about that. Did everybody understand having questions about getting your firm license? If you have an LLC, if we're paying Chris Puckett LLC and you have an EIN number, we need to have that, and you need to have a firm license with the state. Any other questions before Matthew jumps back on? Couple other things I wanted y'all to know. We do, I told you we opened our office in Tennessee today. That's the northeastern part of Tennessee, Bristol, Kingsport, Johnson City, Elizabethton area. We also have Raleigh office. That Raleigh office covers, of course, the Raleigh Wake Forest area. They will go down to New Bern and to Wilmington as well. So if you need anybody out east, more than likely somebody in that office will cover it. We've got people in Asheville, and I was just with them last night, but they cover pretty much the entire western part of North Carolina, from Asheville out to Bryson City, Cherokee, Murphy, on out that way. And then we do have an agent up in the Boone, West Jefferson area that covers kind of the, I guess those are the Blue Ridge Mountains. Again, Boone, Sparta, West Jefferson area. So we've got a lot of assets. Make sure you take advantage of them. Don't refer them to other companies. Always use our Lantern closed Facebook group to ask for referrals. And then we just opened our Lexington office as well. And we've got agents in that office that go up north of Winston-Salem, close to the Virginia line. So we've got a large swath of North Carolina covered, and a big chunk of northeastern Tennessee as well. So anybody got any questions on those? All right, Matthew, are you in a place to?
Yeah,
You
yes,
do your
sir.
thing?
Is that better? Yeah, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Great, good deal. Yeah, I'm actually just made it to Boone. I got held up a little longer on the Zoom call in Wilkesboro than I had anticipated. So thanks for bearing with me. So for your Boone folks, got you covered. For your Asheville folks, got you covered. For Tennessee, I can refer out. I've got some connections in Tennessee, but guys, I am licensed all over North Carolina as well. So from Raleigh to the coast, I work extensively at the mountains, the coast, Asheville, also in the South Carolina and North Carolina. So guys, I'm there. Wanted to talk to you about a couple of hot topics in the world today, in the insurance world, and that is seller possession. So just as a reminder, when your clients are doing a seller possession, be aware that if your seller cancels their policy early, the problem we run into is they forget to insure their contents, their possessions. You need to make sure the client is insuring the insurance. If the buyer buys a homeowner policy but has the seller hold over for 2 months, that can pose a problem. Be aware that your client does need a special, like a landlord policy, to protect them adequately there. That's one issue I want to share with you. Also, I know a lot of you guys are doing Airbnbs. And as a matter of fact, I've done a couple of classes lately with Airbnb coverage and short-term rentals. If you have a property, your client's going to use a property for Airbnb exposure, bear in mind that that needs to have a separate rider under most insurance carriers. Now, we're a broker. You guys know that we shop the market for our clients. We actually have access to a lot of different carriers, and we don't charge a fee for that, by the way. But we also have carriers that will add it as a rider. And it is important to make sure that the rider is added. So therefore, if there's a claim, there is protection. So be aware that that does exist. You cannot just typically write a homeowner policy and say, let's use it for an Airbnb, even in a little mild format. So of course, guys, you guys know I'm available 7 days a week until 10 o'clock. I'm all over, like I said, where you guys are located, and love to work with you. And let's talk really quickly about seller possession. One more note I want to add about that is that if you do a buyer possession, we also experience that, guys. I have over 20 years in the business working through these types of challenges. But I would just encourage you guys to make your connection to your client. Maybe consider a text or email introduction where the client has the dialogue opened. I see so many cases, guys. Your clients right now are maybe using internet. Maybe they're using Geico, but they're not using me as an agent. And that means, bear in mind, when you're closing your loan tomorrow and your lender has a last minute request, there's no me involved. There's no direct portal to get this done for you. And so I just encourage you guys to make that connection, open that dialogue, let your client get a second opinion, because if they only get one quote, how do they know if the quote was good or not? The answer is they can't know because they have nothing to compare it to. So we see people routinely pay way more than they should, get less than they should. They don't get an agent that's here for them 7 days a week. It's 10 o'clock. Roof age continues to be a challenge, a thorn in our collective sides. So we have now options to write roofs of all ages. We can do pretty much anything property that you guys cover, we have an outlet for. So again, guys, get involved, shoot a text or an email introduction, and please feel free, be my guest to contact me on 8 o'clock tonight on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm here for you, but I can't help one of your clients that never gives me an opportunity to make a connection. So again, I urge you to maybe consider an introduction, open a text between us both, and make that introduction. So guys, that's kind of all I had for today. Thanks for taking a minute to hear me chat with you guys about these upcoming topics and these trends. And again, no matter where you're at, guys, I'm here to help you. Look forward to engaging with you soon. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Last thing I've got, folks, is our Ladies of Lantern event. If you saw my news and notes, that has been moved to May 19th from 11 to 1 at City Hall. May 19th from 11 to 1 at City Hall. And the last thing I wanted to do, I saw Amy Bundy on here, and I hate to put you on the spot, Amy, but I'm going to. But I don't know if anybody read the North Carolina Real Estate Commission newsletter recently, but in their disciplinary action section was our good friends at Open Door. And they got slapped on the wrist pretty hard by the Real Estate Commission. Amy, would you care to share your experience recently with them that you emailed me about?
So yesterday, one of their properties came back on the market, and I have a client in that price range who wanted to see it. So of course, I wanted to try to find out why it was back on the market. Their disclosures were not posted online. Everything but the property disclosures were there. So I asked them for the property disclosure. And I don't recall how many questions they had marked yes to, but it was a lot. I actually thought they checked the wrong boxes. But when I get down to explanations for all of those numbers, it said see home inspection. So I requested a copy of the home inspection, which they claimed they did not have. So I reminded them that the disclosure said to see the home inspection report, and they still insisted they did not have that report. They offered to answer any questions that I had, so I just simply responded that I thought it would be best if they updated the disclosure with the explanations instead of referring me to a report I did not have access to. This morning, when I checked my text messages, someone from Open Door Support had contacted me and said that they actually do have the report and that they were going to email it to me, which they did. It's just thrown up a lot of red flags. I haven't had time to view the report yet. But I just thought that was interesting that the same day this has happened to me, you know, Chris posts this report about the problems that Open Door is having with disclosures and other things. So I wanted to share that with Chris and say, hey, this is happening. It's just happened to me today.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, Amy. And it sounds like, I mean, obviously the real estate commission ended up not doing anything, but we got to hold these folks' feet to the fire if they want to play in our, if they're going to play in our ballpark, we need to make sure they're just as accountable as we are. And it doesn't sound like they have been. So I appreciate you bringing that to our attention and doing what you should have done for your client.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Anybody else got anything to talk about? That's literally it for me from Tennessee. All right, folks, if you don't have any questions, then we'll let you go and give you some time back. If you do have questions, shoot me an email today. We'll be back in the office. All of us are up here in Tennessee. We'll probably be back tomorrow. So y'all have a good one and go sell some real estate.